And then there's another ebook that I have in there, like building brand loyalty through email marketing, right? That's that one. And then there's also an ebook that I have in there that's about social media marketing, how to use social media to market. So like all these questions that I'm looking at outside of, like where'd you get that? Where'd you get those beads? Where'd you get that wire? Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? That's outside of all the other questions. But a lot of the questions are like, they're business related, and I'm saying, okay, well, wait a minute. I got ebooks that's on Etsy about everything that you're asking me as it relates to business, right? And then one of the ladies was asking me about email marketing. You absolutely can do email marketing, absolutely, positively. So if you go to, she says she do some events. So when you go out to the events, but what she was not doing, and she did confess that in the email, that she does not collect emails when she's out and about at these events. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. You always want to collect emails when you're out at these different events, because what that is, that's a potential customer. Excuse me for a minute. That's a potential customer, even if it's not a customer right now at that very moment. And remember what we're doing. We're building familiarity. We want to build brand loyalty. And then how do we build brand loyalty? We build brand loyalty through experience of what? Our products, right? We build brand loyalty through experience of our products. And in addition to that, what are we doing? Brand familiarity. We want them to be familiar with our products. And then how do we do that? Think about how celebrities do. Their marketing team keep them people in our face. Nobody would know about Kim Kardashian if they didn't market her, if she didn't stay on social media like that. Anytime you stay in somebody's face like that, they have to become familiar with you. Now, it becomes this point of if they consume the product or not. So you have a decision. You can make a decision if you want to consume the product or not. So think about it in terms of your product, what you make, right? First of all, it has to be this mindset that your product is of value. And I'm going to tell you about the Proverb 31 woman. She perceived that her merchandise was good. And what did she do? She took her product to the merchants at the market and she sold it. So what was she basically? She was a wholesaler. She was an entrepreneur, but she was also a wholesaler. So she made what she made with her hands. She took it to the market and she sold it to the merchants. She didn't sell it to by retail. She sold it to the merchants. So when she sold it to the merchants, it then became the merchant's responsibility to now do what? To sell the product, right? So you have to perceive that your merchandise is good enough to be sold, right? And at a specific amount. Don't make something that's worth $50, $2. Don't do that to yourself. You have to understand the value. And that one book about cost structure, it will help you to determine and understand about cost structure, about direct costs, about overhead costs, about all these different costs that's included in a small business. And that book is probably about 8 pages, I think, but it's packed with information. It's packed with a lot of information because I get a lot of questions like kind of over and over again about costs, about this, about that. And the simplest of the simplest of the simplest of the simplest that I can say is write things down. Your expenses versus your profit. Your expenses versus profit. And you will never go wrong with that. That is the simplest form of bookkeeping that you can do. If you're not familiar with accounting or bookkeeping, that is the simplest form of bookkeeping that any one person can do. Expenses, profit. Expenses, profit. And that's all you need to know, and you keep moving forward from there. So as long as you are not in the negative when it comes to expensive and you are in the positive when it comes to profit, you're winning like every single time, right? And if you can find a couple of places, 1 or 2 places where you can sell every month at, that would be grand too. And even if you go to a place and you don't do absolutely positively well, do a comparison. Email lists, sales, right? Email list, sales. So you're at an event, you have your email list out, right? So you might have made your money back for what you paid for the spot, maybe a little bit more profit. But then when you look at your email list, how many names is on that email list? How many names are on that email list? And does it make sense for you to go to that place again next month? Right? Does it make sense for you to go again next month? Based on email lists. Now, profit is good. We want a little bit of profit. We want that. But just think too, though, many times people come to things and they may not have the money right then and there to buy something. They love what you have. They absolutely love it. That's why you have to have them sauce items. That's why you got to have that. Because if the foot traffic is 500 people, I at least want to sell $500 $1 items. Right? That's just my mind frame. I at least want to sell $500 $1 items. And people want to support. They want to support, but sometimes they may not have, the financial resources to be able to pay for it at that time, at that moment. And just remembering that jewelry is an impulse buy. So always have something available for people to buy because they want to support a $1 item, $2 item, $3 item. You figure that out as you go along the way. But email lists are absolutely positively valuable. You want those. That's gold, okay? You can always be marketing to those people even when you're not outside selling, right? But anyway, Darlene Knight for Jewelry by BDK. You can check out all the ebooks in my Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/Jewelry by BDK CO. And guess what, family? We'll talk soon.